Welcome once again to Hillbilly Buzz. I am the derpy one, Mr. Derpy Dave.
I'm the smart-ass Briggs.
And today on Hillbilly Buzz, we're going to give you the 6 steps to help build your self-confidence. Now, a lot of people out there, especially in this day and age, have social anxiety, phobias of all different kinds, don't want to go out of their house, don't know how to talk to people. Today on Hillbilly Buzz, we're going to give you some simple steps to kind of alleviate that, and we're going to talk about it right now. So let's go ahead and roll that intro.
All right, today we're going to talk about a little self-confidence, something I've had to work on my entire life. I know he has.
Oh, I dump on myself daily.
Everybody does. Your biggest critic is yourself.
Hashtag murdered by words.
Yes.
That is a Reddit. If you ever want to look it up, it's hilarious.
Depends on who you are. I usually get disgusted by Reddit.
Oh, I'm a cynical asshole. I love Reddit.
But number one on our thing is develop awareness of self. In other words, get in touch with yourself, not literally touch yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No.
I know. No. For all those people out there, just swipe the other way.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah. Go do that somewhere else. What he means by developing awareness of self is knowing who you are, what you're capable of, and what you're not capable of. Because it's okay to have limitations. It's also okay to turn those limitations into something better.
And don't put limitations on yourself if you haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, the word I can't really doesn't exist unless you bring it into reality.
Yeah.
I mean, a year ago, we didn't think we'd be sitting here talking to you, and here we are. So there's no I can't.
Yeah,
there's just I won't.
But being aware of yourself, understand the way you are. If you can't find some way to sit down, relax, and just think it out, what am I good at? What am I not good at? And if you don't know, try it. See if you're good at it. You might find a talent that you don't know you have, and that brings a lot of confidence in you too. Like, someone that's good at something, they're confident in what they can do.
Well, yeah, it's like I thought I was good at nothing until I started DJing, and I'm really, really good at it. I do very well doing it, and I have a lot of fun. I mean, soundboard engineering is awesome, and I never thought I would ever be sitting here mixing music on my own. Like, I thought, big studio guys do that kind of stuff. What's little old me gonna do?
Whatever you want. That's the great thing.
That's the beauty of human nature. Your mind and your body are the most powerful things in your sphere. And if you're not utilizing them, then you're just doing yourself a disservice. I mean, go out and read a book. Go out and take a walk. Enjoy life. Look at the stars. Dream. Those things are perfectly normal, and you're not weird for doing it.
Some may call you weird, but don't let people down you. That's another thing. Don't listen to people, down you all the time. It just doesn't. The only thing it does is tear you down, and if the more you listen to it, the more you'll get it in your head that you believe it. Like people tell me all the time, oh, they called me fat all the time, and I started to believe it. When they're not
fat.
No, not me.
Oh,
no,
you ain't even close to fat. Look over here.
Okay, quit touching yourself.
I like cake. I just had some cake too. It was carrot cake. It was delicious.
If you haven't seen one of our old videos, this is a cake man. He's addicted to it.
I am a cake man.
Yeah.
But you know what? I started going to the gym.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got a gym membership, Planet Fitness, #awesome.
I work all the time in the shop, so.
Well, you have physical things to do. I'm a truck driver. I sit on my ass all day long and do this.
But, you're confident in your work.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
I love what I do.
Think about it this way. Practice makes perfect, okay?
It took me 10 years to get good at what I do, and I love what I do now. Number 2.
All right, that brings us to number 2. Shift your routines. You know, if it's not working for you the way it is now, it's probably not what you're supposed to be doing. It just, there's a fine line. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, you know, I'm not saying just go quit your job and be a hobo or something, you know. I mean, if that makes you happy, I guess. But, you know, if find something you like to do and do it. You know, even if it's not your work, if
Even
it's
if
a
it's
hobby,
a hobby.
you know, find something you like to do. Like I like to build stuff. I make little miniatures. I find it fun. You know,
I'm a dork. I play Dungeons and Dragons, and I write light novels. I mean, I enjoy doing it. Some people like to read them. Most people don't, and I'm okay with that.
that's right. But you know, if you're stuck in kind of a rut, you feel you're run down or something. Sometimes it's not even that you're not doing what you enjoy. You've just done it for so long, and it's been the same thing over. Find a new way to do it. You know, like say you're going to your job, and you have to, a monotonous job. You have to do the same thing over and over.
Factory guys, you know exactly what he's talking about. You got to run a machine.
Even fast food, you're repetitive every day.
Making a burger the same way.
You know, find a different way to do it. I mean, it doesn't mean you had to change your entire routine, but change the way you do it.
Make it into a game.
Make it more enjoyable for yourself. That'll build confidence because then you enjoy what you're doing.
And the more you enjoy what you're doing, the more you enjoy yourself. And the more you enjoy yourself, going back to step 1, the better your quality of life will be.
Yep. And number 3.
Number 3.
All right. Number 3, if you find that what you're doing isn't working right this second, fake it till you make it.
And that's actually been a old adage since the dawn of the modern era. If you find yourself in a position where you kind of don't know what you're doing, but you really want to do it, and the people around you enjoy it.
We're not talking about play, bomb maker or something like that, even though you don't know what you're doing. We're talking about, you don't have the confidence, you have problems speaking in front of people or something like that. You learn the skill. There's an old rule, 10,000 hours to learn anything. Mm-hmm. You have to do it for 10,000 hours to learn, to get enough practice. I mean, like sports players and stuff like that.
Oh.
You see them doing great, and they make it look easy. But you didn't see the part where they spent 10 hours, 12 hours a day practicing
every single
working
day.
Out and practicing eating.
For all those kids that wanted to be LeBron James, that kid's father from 4 years old, he was on a basketball court for 9 hours a day shooting hoops, dribbling the ball, doing drills, running back and forth, doing everything he needed to do to learn how to play the game.
But it just takes that time. So fake it till you make it. It means practice it. Just keep doing it.
When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
It. If you're in a situation where you're not able to talk in front of people or something, just
get out there and do it.
Just take a deep breath and say what you want to say, or do what you want to do. Just put yourself out there. It won't.
And trust me, a lot of people out there who think that, I can't talk to people, I can't do this, I can't do that. They start doing it. The people around you start to notice that, and they're like, so-and-so's really starting to perk up a bit. We should give them more opportunities at work. Like, I noticed that I worked in offices for a long time. I was a salesman, and I was always the talker, and a lot of people around me were just kind of, and I would just pull them out, like, look, come on, let's go do this. We got to do this, let's go. And they got really good at it, and a lot of them thanked me for it because they became better people and better salesmen, because that's all about what it's all about in that field, is making money. And if you can't talk, you don't make money.
Pretty much. And it's one of those things that just you have to do it over and over, and you're totally going to suck at first. I'm going to tell you.
Anything
totally
you do,
suck
I don't care what it
in
is.
the beginning. But it's not a steep learning curve. It really isn't. You kind of either you do it or you don't. But you can get better. You'll notice a difference. Maybe not right away, but you will notice a difference after you do it for so long.
Like the big thing I'm working on right now is learning how to adult. And then trust me, that's not an easy task. It really isn't. I mean, anyone out there in their, late 20s, early 30s can definitely work with me here and saying, managing your credit, managing your mortgage, managing your car payments, cleaning your house, washing your dishes, getting everything together so it's right as rain. When you walk in, you know everything you got to do right then and there.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this for so long.
Well, you've been adulting since you were 19. So you're not everybody.
Yeah. I kind of...
I come to him all the time when I have adulting questions because he just knows.
I've been doing it a long time. But I sucked at it at first, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I get my electric shut off in the beginning because I forgot to pay the bill, or I'd overstep myself, spend too much, and I wouldn't have the money to pay something, and you pay the consequences. I mean, it's just how it is.
Yep.
And you can blame everybody else if you want to,
You
but
can point
in the
every
end,
finger in the world. It's you.
it's your fault.
You did it.
Yeah. And
You went out and bought an Xbox instead of paying your power bill.
Right? I know people like that. That's the sad part. You.
That happened to me a couple years back. I went out and got the new Xbox One, and I'm like, oh, I'll get a paycheck next week. Oh shit, my power bill was due 2 weeks ago. My power got shut off. Oh shit.
But
Scrambling to bum money off people. Then that's really sucky.
But yeah, you got to build the self-confidence in increments. Like kind of work your way up to it. I mean, but to do it, you got to put one foot out.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to
go out there.
It's just like, what is it? Every journey begins with one step. So you got to do it. You just, if not, you're going to stay stuck in your rut forever.
And you're going to watch. And the worst part of it is, I noticed it a couple years back. You're stuck in that rut, and you're watching everyone around you start to move. And you're still standing in the same spot going, what do I do?
Right.
And that's probably, to me, that's got to be the scariest thing in the world. When you're watching the whole parade go by, and you're just standing there at the back going, should I walk or shouldn't I? And that's also part of fake it till you make it. Just take the step. If you get your foot kicked out from under you, fall down,
get back
up and take another
Just like learning to ride a bike.
Yep.
You can't learn you're not going to jump on it and be perfect every time.
I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We've talked about this in previous videos. But, I mean, people who are insane, they don't take that step.
No.
They don't.
They just keep doing they just stay in their bubble.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Their little bubble, their little microcosm, and the thing about being confident, and you project that confidence onto others.
We'll get to that point.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that point here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and hit number 4.
Seek support. And that doesn't mean go get counseling. I mean, if it takes it, go get counseling. But seek support is if you know your family group or your friends or something like that, and you have a confident friend or something like that, ask them how they're more confident. Ask people, that you meet that are very confident and very not full of themselves, but,
there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Big fine line.
Yeah, if they're narcissistic, just kind of, you don't want that kind of confidence.
If they spend more time talking about themselves than they do others, then you just walk away.
But, seek out people that, and that runs right into number 5, too.
These two, 4 and 5 kind of bounce off of each other.
Because you be around confident people. So
surround yourself with positive influences. Like if your friend group is just a bunch of hoodlums
or emo kids.
or emo kids. Well, they're not all that bad. They grow out of it most of the time. But
I was talking about the woe is me people.
Oh, God,
My
those-
life's terrible.
slip my wrist. Yeah, I don't. I don't deal with those people.
I don't neither.
But finding support is also surrounding yourself with confident people, which is step number 5. But they kind of, like I said, we kind of bounce off of each other. Because if you surround yourself with a positive, confident group of people,
Then you'll get the support from those people.
that you need.
Because if someone's truly confident about themselves, they are willing to help others. You know,
and they're willing to share their knowledge and their influence with you to show you how to do it.
and that brings us to our final one, which is number 6. Make others around you feel more confident, and project your confidence. Be like, hey, man, that was a great job. If you see someone doing something good, say something. Tell them.
Oh, good job. Good job. Really good job.
Tell them it's good.
Don't always point out negative stuff. That just, there's no point in tearing people down all the time. There's no point in going, like it with kids especially,
Kids are so cruel.
Well, no, I'm talking about like adults with their kids. Like someone puts say your glass is sweating and they forgot a coaster. Now we're talking little kids, not big kids.
Yeah.
Littler kids, say 10 and under.
10 and under, yeah.
Older kids, you still have to be kind of gentle around them, but not as nearly as badly. But like little kids, you put your cup sweating and they set it down on a thing and didn't use a coaster or something. What is wrong with you? Why are you doing it? Da, 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 da.
And whenever I did something wrong, I wasn't properly sat down and disciplined. I was yelled at and smacked even sometimes. I grew up with a very low self-esteem because my mom would say things like, "You're terrible, I don't like you, I don't love you at all. I think that you're a big burden to this family. What sin could I have possibly committed to have had you as a kid?" And she,
Instead of doing that, be like, point out the good stuff they do. Be like, in that instance, be like, you forgot the coaster, and do it.
You need to put that down there. Next time, do it.
Yeah, that's more.
That's
good,
a teaching experience.
Yeah, but if you see your kids doing something good, say something nice. That'll build confidence. That'll help them later in life.
Like my daughter's in band. I go to every concert, and I tell her she does great every time, even if she screws up, which is extremely rare because she's kind of a badass at the trombone. She really rocks the hell out of the trombone. I mean, I don't know if that's a rocking instrument, but she does really good at it.
Well, it isn't jazz.
Yeah, she's actually just signed up for marching band. I can't wait for that. Football games. We have to go back to high school. It's going to be so much fun. Not really, but.
But surround yourself, be around confident people, and don't forget to, as you're building your self-confidence, make sure you project it onto others. And that'll come back to you, because if you make other people feel good about themselves,
they're going to flip around and make you feel good about you.
Now, we're not talking everybody, but the majority will, reciprocate.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that just, you have to kind of step your foot forward. You work with yourself, first, and then you can put yourself out to work with others. And when you're working with others, it comes back to you. So that all plays into, everything just kind of plays right into it.
All 6 of those play right into each other. I think number 6 is kind of a linchpin because, think about it. If you've gone through the first 5 steps and you're now a confident person, you finally find that person who was you, say, a year ago or 2 years ago, and you're looking at them going, wow, I used to be just like that guy or that gal. I can really help them because I know what to do now.
Now, what do you, and that brings the decision down to you. What do? Do you walk by them like so many people do? They just walk by and...
Not my problem.
Yeah, not my problem. Like, when a kind word could make that difference. Such a difference. And
Just a simple hi, how you
and
doing?
if you are a confident person and you see somebody that lacks self-confidence and stuff like that, don't be afraid to try to lift them up a little bit. Now, we're not trying to, be pessimistic towards them or, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you kind of passive-aggressive, I guess would be. Why aren't you more confident?
Yeah.
Why aren't you...
Why aren't you more like me?
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Don't say do things like I do, or watch how I do this. Don't do that. That
Show them.
Yeah.
now.
Bring them around when you're doing stuff.
And go, this is a good way to do this. This is a good way to do that. May not be your way, but try it out. See if you like it.
Or
show me
like
a better way.
It'd be just. We all have a life, and we all aren't born with the knowledge. There's no training program for life. You just kind of go through
Life
it.
doesn't come with a freaking instruction manual.
And not
or
all
a cheat guide.
And not all parents are equal. Your parents may have, instilled, been harsh. Harsh parents can produce just as, they could be a mean person when they grow up, but not have any self-confidence, and they're still mean. They might just have a wall put up because they have no self-confidence.
And or it could be the classic absentee parent who was just single mom working 9,000 jobs to support 3 kids
and the kid doesn't have anything positive to look back on to kind of
everything in their life is bitter.
Yeah, everything in life you look back on experiences to make your decisions forward. That's why past is so important sometimes. Now, we're not saying dwell in the past. That's a whole nother ballgame. Yeah. We're talking about, look to past mistakes. That corrects your future. But if you don't have those past in confidence, you realize right off the bat, because the only instances you have to compare to are not good ones.
Yeah, they're negative influences, and that negatively influences your life.
So
and that's when you have to find those positive reinforcements. Find yourself some positive people
even
to be around.
if you've watched a movie and there's positive stuff going on in there, take that as a memory.
Yeah,
it's not
that.
your memory, but
you can still use that to your
instance.
advantage.
Use that instance as a confidence builder to look back on. If you don't have your own memories, look back on that and be like, they did this. I can do something similar. This situation is a lot like this movie scene or whatever, and I can do something like that.
See, I use music like that because I love music, and there's a lot of music out there that's very inspiring. Because, you and I, our childhood was, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best.
It had its moments.
Yeah.
But like with anything, it's a learning experience. Like, I had to teach myself confidence because I really didn't have any.
Me too.
And I think I totally changed as a person. Like I said, I'm still working on it. I have, anxiety and depression and stuff like that too. So that affects my self-confidence a lot.
And if you haven't checked out the anxiety depression video, go back and check that out.
Yeah,
too. It's a really good video.
I'll put a link right up here.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll get it. He'll get it.
I'll get it. Yeah. I don't know my right from my left.
That one.
Over there. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here today, right here. It's a good spot.
Yep.
Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification so we can keep you up to date with more videos. Do the like thing. We like those.
I love likes.
Yeah,
they make me happy. But if you know somebody that might enjoy our videos, or know somebody that could help, feel free to share it with them.
Share it with them. Pass it along. Throw it up on Facebook.
Yeah, we don't monetize. It just goes without saying. We don't make.
We're here because we enjoy it. We're not here to make money. Once again, I am Mr. Derpy Dave, the Derpy One.
I'm Briggs.
The smartass. I like that. Good catch sign. But this has been Hillbilly Buzz. Thanks for watching. Put some comments down in the doobly-doo if you guys have a subject you want to talk about. That's
or if you have
any,
if you have any ideas or anything like that that could help somebody that maybe we missed. We took these generally out of the textbook. So if you have any ideas or an experience that helped you build your self-confidence, don't be afraid to share it, and it might help somebody else.
Yeah.
But we'll catch you all later.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Peace.
How are you always so consistently composed and confident? Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that I am. I know what you mean. Well, look, I'm not that young. I'm just about 60 years old, and so I have a lot of experience behind me, and I've seen a lot of things, and I've learned to be detached to some degree. That's one thing you learn as a clinician, is people are always talking to you about terrible things and the difficulties in their life, and you can take that home and have it destroy you because you're constantly exposed to the troubles of existence, and they're real troubles. And I mean, it's not unique to clinicians. You see that with physicians and palliative care workers and people who work in morgues and emergency responders, and there's lots of people who face the very difficult aspects of life very frequently. You detach yourself from it to some degree, and I don't mean in a disinterested way. I mean in a way that is sort of allied with a longer term view. Like if I'm doing an interview now with someone who's attacking me, and I can get irritable. I think I was too irritable in the GQ interview, for example, which some of you might have watched. I think, well, I'm not going to jump to conclusions about how this is going to go, even with regards to how it feels right in the moment. We'll see how it unfolds across time. And I'll try to manage myself in the moment with the least amount of upset that I can manage. And it's part of the doctrine of minimal necessary force. Like one of the things I've learned, if you have a dispute with someone and it needs to be settled, and maybe they need to change more than you, and that's not always the case, because sometimes the settling requires change on your part. But let's say that they have to be defeated in some sense in comparison to you. You don't want to defeat them any more than necessary. It's like you don't knock your opponent to the ground and then jump up and down on them 3 or 4 times in triumph. You pin them and then let them up. Minimal necessary force, because any more than that just produces a counter reaction. And so, and I guess the other thing is my motivation when I'm engaged, let's say in these discussions, is that I'm not trying to win the argument. I'm not trying to win. I'm trying to say what I think as clearly as I can. And there might be an element, one of the consequences of that might be what appears to be a victory, but the right victory is the victory for your ability to articulate what you believe. And that's what I'm trying to do. And so that's another reason to stay composed, is like, well, okay, this person has just thrown a curveball at me. It's like, all right, so, well, I could be thinking, well, I don't want to be undermined by that, and I don't want to make a fool of myself, and I don't want to be put on the spot. And of course, all of those things are true. But mostly what I'm thinking about is, okay, well, now I've got that question. I want to answer as truthfully as I possibly can. What do I think about what was just said? And I'm not calculating the outcome. I'm assuming this is a mark of faith, right? This is the faith that people have talked about being something that has to be manifested necessarily. We've been talking about this since the dawn of time. What's the faith? The faith is that if you say what you believe to be true, then whatever happens is the best thing that could have happened. And I believe that. So that's what I really believe it. Partly because I believe that if you're deceitful, which is the opposite of that, or manipulative or malicious or malevolent, but maybe primarily manipulative, then what you're acting out is your belief that deceit will bring victory. And I just don't believe that at all. I think it's a preposterous claim. And so if deceit won't bring victory, then truth is what brings victory, if there is such a thing as truth. And there's certainly such a thing as deceit. So there must be such a thing as truth. And some of it's just curiosity too. It's like, well, I'm going to say what I think and see what happens. And that's an adventure. That's the adventure of your life, really. And you don't want to miss that, because that's what you've got in your life, is for it to be an adventure. It's not an easy road, it's a stormy sea. And what you have is the adventure of contending with God in the waves. That's what you have. And the way you do that is with truth. And then that sort of takes you out of the immediacy of the conflict, the conflict with whoever it is that you're talking to. You're trying to ally yourself with something that's deeper and more profound and more lasting. But I don't think that I am particularly consistently composed and confident. I think I have faith in the truth. It's not the same thing. And, I'm an emotional person. Obviously. How do you manage to read so much? Well, a lot of that's good fortune. I seem to have a knack for reading. It was a gift. When I was a kid, if I look at a word once, I can always spell it. I have it instantly. And I've been like that ever since I was little. And so I seem to have a facility for very rapid verbal comprehension. And then my father taught me to read when I was very young. And I think it was the combination of those two things that enabled that for me. I had a natural proclivity, a verbal ability. My graduate supervisor, very smart guy, Robert Peel, guy I really liked, he had trouble with spelling. I don't know why exactly that is. People have different talents, and I had a talent for immediate recognition and memory of words, and I'm also very verbally fluent. Give me a sec here. So I think mostly it's an innate talent. Now I also do know that the more you read, generally speaking, the faster you get. My wife is really, she always read, but she's really started to read a lot since she got a Kindle. Turns out she really likes her Kindle. She reads a lot more, and her reading speed has increased a lot. A lot of it's practice. You can try to speed up your reading by reading a little faster than you're comfortable with. I don't know the research literature indicating the utility of that, but practice is always useful. The other thing is that you want to make it part of a habit, both conceptually and practically. A lot of people don't read because they're afraid of books. The books aren't their friend. So you might want to get a few books and kind of make them your friend. You can start with simpler books, like fiction. There's lots of good fiction written for adolescents and children. It's pretty straightforward. You can start there. If you're interested in philosophy, there's lots of simple guides like The Idiot's Guide to different topics, or a beginner's guide. I read those things all the time when I'm first investigating a new topic. I start with the introductory material. And I make time for reading, and that was encouraged in my family. I always read before I went to sleep. I read, and I still do that. Somewhat less so because I've become so distracted by social media. But you set aside a bit of time every day to read. And for me, it was always just before I went to bed. I go to bed, turn on the light, and read when I was a kid, for hours. And if you do something every day, you do a lot of it. And so I would say, well, if you want to read, if you want to make yourself educated, just put aside 20 minutes a day to read, or 10, you know, some small amount of time that you could actually steal, not 2 hours, because good luck, man. It's very unlikely you'll manage that, but 20 minutes a day, you know, that's 2 hours a week, that's 700 hours a year. You know, that's, even if you're a slow reader, that's a good number of books. And so you make it a habitual part of your life, and you decide that it's going to be something that you value. You investigate carefully what resistances you might have to that idea, because you might think, well, that's pseudo-intellectual, or there's something more productive I could be doing, or I'm intimidated by books, or I hate books because I wasn't good at reading when I was a kid and was humiliated because of it, or, you know, you've got something against intellectuals, or God, there might all sorts of resistances to picking up a book. And then you could listen to audiobooks. That's a good way around that, by hook or by crook, man. So you value it, you make it a regular part of your life, you practice doing it. And you need a higher goal too. Is like, well, why should you read? Well, it's so that you're more informed and you can think better. Well, why should you be more informed and think better? Because you won't walk blindly into so many pits. You know, you'll be able to negotiate better in your life because you'll be more informed and more verbally fluent, and you'll have a better sense of how the world works, and be able to hold your own in conversations, and that'll make you more confident. Those are all unbelievably good reasons. To be highly literate is an incredibly massive advantage, practical advantage, you know, and it shouldn't be underestimated. So